Hey guys, okay, so I wanted to make a video about removing the lock cylinder out of a 1976 C3 Corvette. Yeah, so I've been extremely frustrated because this car is actually a 77, but it doesn't have a telescoping steering wheel, and it's not like the 75s. I've literally looked all over the internet, and I honestly think this is the only video out there that touches on this specific column because everything seems to be wrong. I've asked a bunch of C3 sites and everybody's giving me all this information, and my steering column doesn't look like anybody else's steering columns that I can tell. So starting from the very beginning, I don't know if, some people are familiar with these systems, some people aren't, but the hub is actually part of the steering wheel on this car. So essentially what you're going to do is you have the horn and you literally just kind of grab it and pop it off. And then underneath that, you have these 3 screws. So you take off those 3 screws and this comes off and that exposes this area. Once you have that area exposed, then you'll see that you have a hole here and a hole here. Well, what that is this part is threaded and there is a nut. So you'll get the nut. I don't remember what size that was. It was a 7/8. So you get a 7/8 socket, take that nut off, and then you'll just be exposed with this. And then what you want to do is go get a steering wheel puller, and it's 27017, and this is the kit, and it comes with various sizes of nuts. Okay, so you'll get that, and then your steering wheel puller, which I can't locate, but anyway, it's like a fork, and then you tighten the middle and it pops off your steering wheel. You set it to the side. Okay, you set that to the side, and then you have this right here. You have this, which is your lock plate, and your lock plate is covered by this. And this thing, you kind of just have to be careful, but it's got tabs here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Here, here, and here. And you kind of just work it around and work it off, and it pops off. You shouldn't have to break anything. So that comes off, set it to the side. You see this, and the way this is retained is, wow, this is burning. Sorry, it's burning my hand. I can't pick it up. The way that's retained is there is a little clip in here. And so you get this tool, and this tool is a steering lock puller tool. And I don't have the number right offhand, but both these tools I ordered, sorry, I'm renting from AutoZone. And it came with this, and it threads on to that thread perfectly. And so what it does is it gets this plate, I'm not touching it, this plate is upside down. It gets this plate and pushes it in. It pushes it that way. And then it exposes this little tiny ring that goes around here. And you have to open this ring and pull it off the shaft. So once you get that ring off the shaft, then this is exposed. You take that off. There's this underneath it, that just pulls off, and there's a spring underneath it, and the spring goes in there, and that pulls off, so keep that in there. So now we're exactly what we see right now. There are 3 screws holding this turn signal system in, one here, here, and down here. This one is hidden. So there's this turn signal, so you have your turn signal, it's loose. There's a shaft here. Just pay attention to what you have to do right here. But there's a shaft and a plastic piece and another screw and a screw, or whatever. And that shaft comes off. Set it to the side. Obviously, guys, be more organized than me. I just happen to remember. But if you don't remember, lay it all out in a line or take pictures. but that exposes this hole because you can't see it. So you're able to get this one, and you might have to change the turn signal in order to move the arms to get these holes exposed. Okay? So you get those two exposed, and then you take off that arm, which is right here, and then that one's exposed. You take those off, take out the screws, put them somewhere safe, and then you can carefully work this out, and that exposes your lock cylinder. Now, what got me really frustrated was my lock cylinder didn't look like other people's lock cylinders. And there's just supposed to be a tab where you press it and boom, it comes out. Well, here, let me get a pic. So you can see right here, this little bit was actually, the casting was over it. So it looked like a solid piece of metal. But I watched enough videos and I actually scraped the casting out of the way. I actually scraped metal out of the way. And I realized that my car was just like other cars, thank God. And I got a tiny little screwdriver. I don't have it with me, but it's a small flathead screwdriver. And I just pushed in. And while pushing in that slot, I was wiggling this, and eventually the ignition just popped out. And that's that. This is such a pain in the ass if you don't know what's going on, or you've never done it before, or your car isn't exactly like this. So I really hope this video helps. I am sorry about it being so disorganized, but rewatch the video. I'm pretty sure I went over everything that you absolutely need to know. But yeah, so that's how you do it. And also this thing, I accidentally took it out. You don't need to take that out. It's kind of finicky, so just leave that in there. You know, as a recommendation, re-grease everything before you put it in. Clean everything, re-grease it. This thing's tight, so I'm going to lubricate that. I'm going to see if I can take it off and lubricate it. And then also, one thing that I forgot to mention is before you pull your steering wheel, mark it. I actually got a hammer and notched the top of it, and then I notched right here. You can't see it on video, but I notched it so I'm able to tell where the steering wheel goes, because then your alignment will be off or your steering wheel will be crooked while you're driving. So make sure you get that notched or marked before you pull it off. Anyway, so I hope this video helps, and you know, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Like this video if it helped. Thanks.